The bucket shall take its place as ruler.
The buckets will protect me. Protect me, buckets. Protect me. Protect me. Protect me. Thank you, buckets. You did as best as you could. And that's what, in the end, you can only ask for. That the bucket tries his best to help you. Well, that means... I think... that 2 more endings remain.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had... Is Stanley, without the bucket, really Stanley at all? No. No, surely not.
No, indeed. I'm nothing without the bucket. The bucket, technically, is nothing without me. Because who else would take you along? All my co-workers were gone. Office, are you being creepy and weird again? What? Why are you like this? Sorry, Bucket. I know that I'm working here, but even I don't control the office. It's a disgrace. I know. I'm very sorry. Either way, I'm not sure if I can trust you, Bucket. Maybe we should go home. Yes, I'm definitely gonna go home with you. I promise.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Alright, Bucket, this is it. We're nearly there. We're nearly home.
In here,
Said the bucket.
go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Yes, I have no reason to ever distrust you, Bucket. I would never lie to you. You can trust me.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone, and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Of course, Bucket. We shall totally go home. Trust me. Just don't look the other way, please. Or do look the other way. I'm totally picking up the phone.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone?
Because I don't trust the bucket.
Resist the bucket's orders?
Yes.
Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things.
Yes, it
Buckets
does.
Can't talk. It was a joke.
Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket.
Blasphemy.
Don't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker?
Yes.
Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly
I'm not
an
good at it
instructional
either.
video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is.
Oh, God.
It's sitting right here.
Oh,
Let's
God.
take a look.
Oh, God.
What is comedic timing?
Oh, God.
What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last?
I don't know.
How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds?
Probably not.
Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes.
Well, that's funny.
Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing.
I was not aware of
To
that.
begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half.
Ooh, that's very
Pausing only
specific.
for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Danny with the funny. Meh, I don't need
Good.
to do it multiple
This
times.
saying
I'm
is
that
a perfect
good.
example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys.
There's no time for a survey in
Collecting
90
hard
minutes
data from your
video.
audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times.
Well, everyone,
Just to
we know what
ensure
awaits
the survey
you.
taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, You'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all.
It's
Just
that
remember to
easy.
let them stop laughing at some point.
Nah.
You gut-busting little scamp.
Nah, we just let them
After all,
laugh forever.
with each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threatened our very existence.
The what
and
now?
to very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All
This
of
is
us must be
Helldivers.
prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Well, okay then.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no
A little?
matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then.
Well-
So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery.
As
Come
long
along,
as you
let's
say,
head back.
I'm Dunny with the funny. I mean, I haven't heard you say it, so how do I know that you know about comedic timing yourself? Again, can we trust you? Hold on! This is not my bucket. This is not my bucket. It's missing a sticker of authenticity. What did you do with my buckets? Is this a joke to you?
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept.
Yeah,
the king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure.
Indeed.
The bucket spoke to Stanley.
Yeah, this bucket indeed spoke
bucket
to me.
spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a dummy bucket. You'll get it right eventually to give this dummy bucket the right voice. But you'll never, never copy the real buckets. So, two doors. But where's my real buckets? Where is my real buckets? How can... I was holding it all this time. How did you get rid of my real buckets? You are a magic man. And I don't trust you. Not until I find my buckets.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Okay, well, I trust you. I trust you.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video?
No.
I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault,
Well, I'm
Stanley.
done you with the funny.
I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Yes.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of two open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Alright, you want to have your joke work? Fine. I was just giving you the opportunity to think of a joke up on the spot. Like, words, God. Improvisation, that's what. Anyway, you want to have it your way? Sure. Let's go. Was it supposed to lead us to the room with the telephone, or...? Alright, here we go.
What? We're back at the phone already?
Well, that's where you wanted to
No,
go.
What's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this.
Well, that's your
There
fault.
was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to.
The true
And it's
bucket made
all
a
my
joke out
fault.
of
I must
you.
have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the two doors room. What an egregious mistake.
What a
I made a
joke.
fool of myself.
Yes.
I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp.
No, it's
I
not that
think-
bad.
I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again.
You'll get it
Surely
eventually.
that will help me improve my...
Comedic timing? Perhaps.
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not? Is it the delivery?
Maybe.
Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket?
I don't know.
This bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar.
If only the real bucket was here.
No, we're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
You need instructional videos on buckets. Alright, well, that did say the end. We basically are there. There's two things that are left for me right here, right now. One is one final ending, which we learned about, which was the whole elevator up and down situation. And we did make a promise to someone, so...
All of his code
first things first.
What could it mean?
Let's have fun with an elevator.
To go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
And it's my real buckets.
As Stanley lifted his bucket, he felt a connection to all buckets everywhere. This adventure, he decided, was for all of them.
One last hurrah. The final swan song. This will be... well, probably our final adventure to get our buckets. Who knows?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
So forever, how long this may still last at this point in time, buckets? We're making the most of it.
Any human life. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
The bucket has always been guiding us. Although... do you even know where you're going, bucket? Because again, we may want to go down, but... is that truly where we want to go? Do we truly want to go down? Or maybe do we truly want to go up? We never went up before. It's always been downhill from here. Going down into the mind control facility and... No, we need to uplift our relationship. Up we go.
Wait, Stanley said to the bucket. Can we go back up? When I was pressing those keypad buttons, there was something very intriguing about the number 3.
Wait,
I want to go
number
back
3?
so I can try pressing the number 3 again.
I never pressed number 3.
The bucket said nothing.
Why are you saying nothing? What do you know about the number 3 buckets? What's the deal with the number 3? The code was 2845. Has the number 3 been staring us in the face all this time? What's the deal with the number 3?
Here we are, said Stanley. Now I'm going to try out that number 3 button. He took the bucket over to the keypad and began absolutely slamming on the number 3 over and over and over.
I mean, we never pressed number 1 either. Or 3, or 7, or 6, or 9, or 0. But 3 sounds rather intriguing.
Wow, he said. The number 3 is such a special button. I'm having the time of my life.
It is wonderful.
Stanley looked expectantly at the bucket, but the bucket remained silent. This was a shock to Stanley, who had always felt such a connection with the bucket. How was this not as exciting to the bucket as it was to him? Once Stanley had had enough of the number 3, he got back in the elevator.
What about number 8? Do you understand number 8? I mean, I love number 8, but... number 8 surely is better than 3. There's probably probably better numbers out there, for sure, that are much better than number 3 or number 8. But I don't think any of them are truly working. What about 0? Do you understand 0? But... buckets. You need to watch an instructional video on the joy of numbers. Fine, we'll go down. If you don't understand number 3, then so be it.
Perhaps the bucket had missed something.
Surely.
Perhaps it had not seen how much joy Stanley got from slamming the number 3 repeatedly.
Maybe you need to slam the number 3 repeatedly, Buckets. Maybe then you'll see. Which means we gotta give that a shot. We didn't try that. So up we go!
No, said Stanley to the bucket. You can't go on yet. Not till you understand how much the number 3 means to me. You and I have been through so much together, and I just want you to see what I see. Feel the happiness I feel. He smiled at the bucket, and the bucket said nothing.
Why are you giving me the cold shoulder treatment, Buckets? I'm trying to show you what I love in life, which apparently is a number 3. So, come on, have a try it yourself.
Said Stanley. This time I'll really show you. He ran to the number 3 and began to wail on it like a musician on a beloved instrument, weaving a concerto of truth and passion.
Just
he wielded the number 3 like a fine artist would wield a paintbrush. He told stories through the number 3, stories of his dreams and hopes and fears, and the whole time he looked to his bucket for a reaction of some kind. Anything to let him know that the bucket appreciated what he was doing. The
just
bucket
give me a
conveyed
smile.
Absolutely nothing at all. Only silence.
Buckets.
Crushed by a wave of dejection,
Buckets.
Stanley returned to the elevator.
It's a number 3. How can you not understand me? I get that we all have different hobbies, that some have a bigger obsession with stuff than others. Like you have got an absolute obsession with, I don't know, holding air. But try out the number 3. After all that we've been through, Buckets, is this how it's gonna be? You're really just gonna ignore me?
Stanley and the bucket were so close. They'd always been there for one another. Why suddenly could the bucket not connect with this passion of Stanley's? The question caused Stanley to ruminate the whole way down the elevator. He knew that there must be a way to get through to the bucket, to communicate fully with his dear friend. Surely there was a solution, mustn't there be?
We're not growing apart, are we, Buckets? Not after all this time. Maybe there still is a way. There has to be a way. We're just gonna keep on trying. Eventually we'll see. Right?
Said Stanley. I know what to do.
Do we?
I know how to fully express this feeling in my heart. He decided right then and there that he would hold a press conference where he would speak to the public on all matters relating to pressing the number 3 over and over. He would elaborate fully on what the number 3 meant to him and why he felt so alive when pressing it. Then the bucket would be able to see his joy through the eyes of others. It would get to see the world react to this discovery of Stanley's. And it would be through the public eye that the bucket would finally understand Stanley's work.
Everyone loves a good press conference. Everyone listens with full attention.
For months, he
We believe what
advertised
people
and
say.
marketed his press conference, building excitement around it, developing and rehearsing it, until it couldn't be refined a single measure further. When the big day arrived, Stanley was as prepared as he'd ever been for anything in his life.
Even the world's peace baby knows about number 3. I mean, it's one of the first things it learns, counting to 3. And even a machine. Okay, a machine has a little bit of issue because it is the whole zeros and ones, and it has trouble getting to 3. Like, the machine should start with learning about number 2, but no, it's all about number 3. You'll see, you'll see.
This was it.
3, all over.
One last chance to win the bucket over. One opportunity to share a true connection with a loved one.
3 again, 3 again. Always 3. Although my co-workers don't understand number 3 either. Remember where it came from. Yep. Learn about the number 3. Sign it with me. Would he know about the number 3? Probably. Even the pineapple pizza guy knows about the number 3. Alright, Bucket, this is it. Let's show the world The glory of number 3.
There was no one here.
What?
Nobody had come to the press conference to hear Stanley speak, to listen to him talk about what it really means to
Why?
press the number 3 on a keypad over and over.
But it's
He
glorious.
was unloved, uninteresting. He was a failure. And
Aww.
in that moment, Stanley knew that the bucket would never again take him seriously.
I'm so sorry, Bucket.
There would be no connection, no deeper understanding. The bucket merely sat there in his arms, indifferent. And so it began that slowly, over many years, the two of them grew more and more distant.
It was not meant
They
to be.
spoke less and less, neither wishing to state the obvious, that any sense of real respect between them had eroded since that day at the press conference. There would be no more games, no more long conversations about passion and pursuit, only a silence that consumed the space between friends. And
This was-
Stanley, having for once in his life discovered the warmth and comfort of true companionship, was cast back into the unremarkable normalcy of loneliness.
This was not how it was meant to end. Surely I must have made a mistake somewhere in my journey, right? Right? To be unable to convince the bucket. Is it really not meant to be for the two of us to be together? I think the only thing we can do here is just restart. Fix our mistakes from the past. Right? Right? If neither the bucket nor the narrator truly understands me, there's only one person who truly gets me, who has learned so much about me. The one I promised who I'd return to. What time is it? Does anyone really, truly know? I think at the end of the day, no one truly does. I mean, someone decided that there would be a specific time at the place you were living in, but maybe there's a different time after all, and it's not the exact time that you think it is, and that time in general, it's just confusing. Of course I don't. Nobody knows anything. We need more sliders in life. You and I don't even know each other. We're like strangers. But even if we're strangers, we can still be friends. Sure, I've adjusted all of the game's settings to your exact specifications, but who hasn't? It's just what I do, like a day job. Now, the job is over. Well, I do think we have started to reach the end of the game, so everything ends. Even if the end is never the end. There's no more information for me to gather. I've collected all the data on you that I can. Well, I hope not. And still, I don't really know you. And you don't know me. And I don't know how the bloody hell I'm supposed to help you. You had a cry for help. How do I help you? And neither of us know what time it is. Does that really matter? Isn't the here and now what truly matters? I guess some settings are just unsettable. But if I'm being totally honest, the clock doesn't do anything in the game anyway. Well, okay then, if you say so. You won't have me here when the game starts next time, but that's okay. Okay. Video games were meant to be played alone. Some maybe, others not, multiplayer games. But we can still be there for each other. You like being alone, don't you? Well, that's true. I spend most of my time alone, so I got used to it, so yeah. But a little bit of contact here and there can't hurt, and can be rather enjoyable. That's maybe the only information I really learned about you. That I like being alone? Maybe. But I did enjoy having a bucket by my side, but then the bucket betrayed me and I didn't understand the number 3, so that's on the bucket. Well, And it's time for me to leave. In which case, goodbye. There's still one more setting that we need to adjust, but that may take a little time before I'm ready for that. I'll give you as long as you need, I guess? That's not really in my job description, but that's okay. Perhaps you'll see me again, if you can find me. Where the bloody hell can I find you then? Talk soon. Okay? Hello? You're new. You weren't there before. And the adventure line led us here. Everyone left me behind. The bucket, the narrator, even the settings guy, I guess. But in the end, I can always trust on that glorious yellow line. I was kind of planning to restart the game again to go towards the beginning and see if the guy would actually be gone, but if you're staring me in the face right here, right now, like this, yeah, I can't ignore you. And I guess that is a fitting way to end all of this. So let's go. Many, many years later. How many years? Oh god, we're back here. Yep, that is many, many years later. As we were traversing through the entire desert. It ended for us. But maybe it never truly ended. For the end was never the end. As we just sat down by the fire, enjoyed life itself. Peace, quiet, and Stanley was happy. And even if times were harsh, we pushed forward, ignoring all the desk chairs that were left in the dust. We forged onwards into the unknown, to wherever life would take us next. Maybe to the button that says gym? Maybe to the bucket. But wherever the hell we went, we just kept on going. Where would life take us after all this time? What would we find, truly at the end? As the sun would rise, a new day was dawning. We go right back to the memory zone. Because even if everything is broken down, memories still remain. But what would we find there? What would remain? In loving memory of the Stanley Parable 2. The end. This is kind of weirding me out. Where is this taking us? What's going on? Another review on the Stanley Parable 2, Cookie9's blog. Like so many, I enjoyed my time with the original Stanley Parable, which underscores how truly disappointed I am with its sequel. Where the first game teemed with originality, The Stanley Parable 2 is dull, uninspired, and often insulting to its fanbase. Rather than expand on what made the first game enjoyable, the sequel veers off into territory nobody asked for. An infinitely deep hole? Who cares? Maybe bucket lovers, but where are the new endings? What about enjoyable bits from the Stanley Parable 1, like the adventure line? Instead, we get an uninspired side quest collecting figurines. Even this diversion feels incomplete. Collecting all the figurines gives you nothing. I must say though, I found the bucket to be quite comforting. A welcome reprieve from all that remains. Oh no, not cat dog! No! The settings. The cat and the dog were never meant to be that close together. No. At the end of this line. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe /2. It's been a lovely surprise. I have really enjoyed myself with this. Stanley Parable developers, no more spin-offs, no more sequels.
Jim.
At the end of the line, we meet again, Jim! God. When the Stanley Parable launched to massive success in 2013, its creators made plans to build the property into an entire franchise. But a disastrous critical and commercial reception to the Stanley Parable 2 has prompted the developers to rethink their ambitions, as outlined in a press release they published today. It is clear that more Stanley Parable is just not what the fans want, reads the press release. We thought we had a vision for the series that players would be excited about. It turns out this could not have been farther from the truth. The press release goes on to promise to preserve the artistic integrity of the original game and to stop assaulting fans with our reckless and insulting creative visions. The word sorry appears more than 25 times in the press release. Aggregate review score in the video game history. Second. Well, at least there's the button that says Jim. Are we gonna find a button that actually says my name?
Jim.
Is there a button that actually says our name after all this time at the end of the line?
Jim.
Come on, don't... If you do anything, don't disappoint me.
Jim. Stanley. Stanley.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Stanley. Jim. Stanley.
After all that time, finally our name.
Stanley.
The promise of the game fulfilled.
Stanley.
The Stanley Parable 2 is a success. A grand success. Why are the figurines here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's more. Many more than 6. I mean, I'm taking all of you. Gimme. Are there more figurines down here? I can't leave it behind. It has to be said one last time. What's my name?
Stanley.
Or is it Jim? I'm not entirely sure after all this time. Maybe it is Jim. Maybe we were Jim all along. Where is this gonna go? I mean, the power line from the outside is still going strong, so what are you empowering? Where the bloody hell are we going? Thank you for enjoying the new content. Again, it has been an absolute joy. It has been amazing. Hello again. After all this time. It's nice to see you. Nice to see you too. But it's terrible to learn that there will never be another Stanley Parable game. I mean, not every game requires a sequel. And again, there needs to be a story to be told. You can't just go and say, yeah, let's make multiple sequels for a game and without having anything to say, to do, to... I don't know. Did you read what the developer said? Preserve the integrity of the franchise? What nonsense. The Stanley Parable is not sacred. We do not need to protect it. Screw the legacy. Let's keep making Stanley Parable games until the sun explodes. I mean, right now we're living in a world where there's only sand outside, and it's only you being powered up. Nothing else remains. Let's run this franchise into the ground. Let's drag it through the mud and back. Is that what we want? And if people hate it, who cares? You see, that was the narrator's problem. He was so obsessed with what people thought of his work. Don't make his mistake. Don't cling to the legacy. Let it burn. It's not hard. In fact, let me show you. Together we are going to make the Stanley Parable 3. Is that a wise choice, though? It's simple. All we do is change a number in the game's title screen. Really? Is it that simple? We also need a really dumb subtitle for the game. Something loud and gaudy. Okay. Go ahead, try combining some random words together to make a new title for our game. The Stanley Parable 3, more ghoulish, Journey to Cheese, Liquid Tuesday, or Crocodile Tuesday, Inspector Tuesday, ooh, or Inspector Square, because if you aren't there, you better be square. Inspector Square it is. The Stanley Parable 3, Inspector Square. It's absurd, I love it! I mean, it does have a nice ring to it. I mean, if you can have an Ultra Deluxe, then you can have an Inspector Square. Every time you restart the game, we'll advance the number of the sequel by 1, and then we'll pick a new subtitle. That way, the Stanley Parable will never end. And nothing in the game itself will change when you do this either. Adding more content sounds like work. No need to do that. It'll just be the same content recycled again and again and again with a new title screen. What do you say? Should we go forward with this plan? I like it, but I want you to have a say as well. I say don't. On the other hand, I'm kind of curious now because, honestly, with this game, I cannot really see it. Every time you start up the game, it's like Stanley Parable 4, Stanley Parable 5, Stanley Parable 69. It keeps on going. For the joke, I'd say let's do it, but logic-wise, you should be happy with the games that have been made. And just making it a sloppy sequel, nah. I'd say don't do it. I understand. Sometimes we're not ready to move on. That's fine. If you ever change your mind and want to start inventing new sequels, come talk to me. I'll be right here. At the end of it all. Okay. Well... Okay. I want to check one thing. Real quick. Okay, it looks like the new content door is still gone. I was really expecting it to be back at some point, but... Can you just not revisit that place at all? Surely you must be able to. Maybe once everything truly resets. Which I think, Buckets, has to happen in a sequel. The end is never the end. That we know. did you reconsider my idea of inventing new silly subtitles for sequels, like the Stanley Parable 3 Nonsense Chemicals? I gave it some thought, and even though I still think that I'm happy with what has been given to us already, sure, let's do it. Good, then it's agreed. A new sequel every time you start the game. You know what? Since you've put faith in my idea, I feel like giving you something as well. You see, I'm noticing that the narrator never found a way to give you the broken achievement, did he? The one broken promise. The free achievement. Of course not. I wouldn't expect him to know how. It's been bothering me. Let's fix it. Alright, there. The achievement machine is all fixed. We can go back to the achievement machine. You see, I'm on your side. We're in this together. We're going to keep this train rolling. The Stanley Parable cannot end. It can only spiral in on itself. Forever. I must keep the wheel turning. The end is never the end is never the end. I'm ready. Are you ready? I guess I am. Great. There's only one last thing we need to do. Which would be... Please enter the current time. Well... 5-3 will work. Please just slide until the computer is barely visible. Nah, keeping it here. Just fine. Thank you. Please enjoy the Stanley Parable. The Stanley Parable 3 Inspector Square! Oh god, I love this game. And that means we really need to go and, well...
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
We need to have achievements.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427.
And one time, for good old sake.
Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Because we have a goal in mind. Where's my
His coworkers
buckets?
were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Hello, my friends. The new content door must be here now. It must be.
Finally, yes, the bucket. Yes, yes, yes. I love that bucket.
Yes, I do. Because it's the best thing of the Stanley Parable 3 Inspector Square. Buckets. We return to the Stanley Parable 2 Expo Hall. In the Stanley Parable 3. What about the Stanley Parable 3 Expo Hall? We need a Stanley Parable 3 Expo Hall. Maybe a Stanley Parable 4 Expo Hall. This can never end. And again, we missed the fun ride. No, it's okay. We at least... are gonna get 2
You see,
buckets.
Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be.
Maybe.
The original Stanley Parable
But I'd
was
say
a
not.
landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy.
It's
So
sure-
forget
it certainly
this
did.
ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever the Stanley Parable 2.
Quite a trip down memory lane. Alright.
Yes, you see, isn't this
Buckets?
far superior to a
We're gonna
measly
meet
re-release with
your
a few
buckets,
minor
friend.
additions? Think of all the new territory. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Here we are indeed. Well, first things first. I want a second bucket. What's better than 1 bucket? 2 buckets. Show me, show me, show me that glorious beauty.
Wait, there
It's
are 2
missing the
buckets
stickers.
here?
Yes.
How did you get a second bucket?
Well,
Oh,
I got it before.
The warmth and comfort of a single bucket is already so great, so intoxicatingly wonderful. With 2 buckets, there's no telling. Stanley, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I
Are
am.
you with me?
Yeah, I'm here, right? Oh, what the?
Stanley!
Buckets!
Thank God, I didn't lose you.
No.
Stanley, the power of 2 buckets was too much.
No!
I had to destroy both of them.
No!
I know how much the bucket meant to you, but I couldn't take the risk. I hope one day you can forgive me.
No! I wanted my buckets! How could you? Well, at least I'm getting an achievement out of this. Always look on the bright side of life. Every pause button is a rumble number 2. Yeah, that we know. Fine. If the bucket is not meant to be,
You know what, Stanley?
then
I
I'll
actually
just
think the jump
enjoy
circle
it
was a pretty good
while
idea.
things
I'd like to
last.
hang on to
That's
that for the
how
sequel.
it works. And then we end on the most glorious number of all, the way things are always meant to be, the number 3. The bucket will understand, if it ever sees me in the afterlife. Alright, achievement time. It just works. Come on, settings and
Now,
D,
here's something
don't disappoint
special. You
me.
remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that.
And I trust you. Here we go. This achievement description
As you can
replaced
see,
this.
The machine is not working yet since... What? Wait, what in the holy hell is going on? You got the achievement?
I got an achievement.
Why did the machine work? Stanley, I didn't fix it. I didn't do anything to it. I swear, it was broken just a second ago. Who fixed it? Is someone here? Are we being watched?
Who knows?
Oh, God. Composure, composure. Yes, as you can see, the machine is working as normal, as I intended. It truly speaks to the awe-inspiring magic of the Stanley Parable 2. Breathe. Just breathe.
Wonderful. Just wonderful. Well, I guess that means we're all done here. The Stanley Parable 2 is finished. The Stanley Parable
What else?
3 is on its
What other
way.
exhibits haven't we seen yet?
I'd say let us take a shortcut to the Stanley Parable 4. Alright, here we go. To the Stanley Parable 4. Geronimo. For in the end is never the end. It's 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 never the end.